Hello, my name is Garrett. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate anyone watching. Um, this is essentially just my attempt to kind of document my uh, growing out of rock bottom, like the title states. For anyone who hasn't seen any of the videos, I'll do a very brief just recap of what rock bottom was in my life. Um, for over 10 years, I struggled with like an escalating porn addiction, starting when I was 13. For like 5 or 6 years, didn't really know it was a problem, but at some point attempted to stop and just kept failing over and over again. I also struggled with compulsively using weed as well, or like smoking weed. And over time, those behaviors just escalated until I kind of just gave up on all my goals and my attempts to develop myself because I just kept failing at removing these things. And kind of went off the deep end, got very depressed and confused and kind of hopeless because I was just letting my life self-destruct and implode for the sake of continuing to do these things. Over the course of like 2 to 3 years, I gained about 50 pounds of fat, racked up like $20,000 to $30,000 of debt. Just generally became a very weak, undisciplined person who I just kept failing at everything I attempted to do because I had let myself become so weak and fragile. And the porn specifically escalated into more extreme areas. Eventually, it led to visiting prostitutes, both like female and trans, which was extremely confusing and shameful. And I had a very religious background, so even though I have no rational issue with those things, it was terrifying that I crossed that line and continued to do so. And during that period, there was several points where I just wanted to kill myself and kind of planned out doing so because I was just so lost and on the brink of being completely hopeless. I am not there anymore. I need to make that clear. This isn't week 3 of like pulling out of my bottom. This is week 3 of just documenting kind of my attempts to grow. So that worst point was about like a year and a half to 2 years ago. I've definitely made a lot of progress since then. I'm by no means where I want to be. There's a lot of change I want to make in my life, and there's a big gap between who I am and the person I want to become. So these videos are just my weekly attempt to document my effort into becoming that person. So how I go about that, I just am gonna do a walkthrough of how my week went, and just try to identify the improvements I can make going into the next week, what's working for me, what's not, and any lessons to take away from the week. So on paper, or according to the growth I'm aiming for right now, this was an exceptional week. To be honest, the 4 categories I'm going for are hours worked, financial, both like money made and money saved, positive habits I'm trying to develop, negative habits I'm trying to reduce. Full days worked, I worked 6 out of 6. On 6 out of 6 days, I worked my full intended hours, and that added up to almost 64, which is great. I mean, my only real improvement I needed to make last week was in this area. I only got 3 out of 6 last week, and I made the changes I needed to make. I tried to be very conscious about avoiding procrastination in the morning. On Monday, I tried to, which is my least structured day, I tried to be a lot more conscious about just knock out the work immediately. Don't allow myself to go off and do other things before the work is finished, and it paid off. Feel really good about that. Financially, I surpassed my goal for the week. in money made, and saved over 40% of the money I made. So that's a win as well. Surpassed my goal. Positive habits. This has been the area I've seen the most just continued success. These are daily framing, meditation, exercise, and texting my accountability partners. For about 8 weeks now, I've seen a perfect score in this area, which is I am very proud of, very excited by, because I've been trying to develop these base level habits for 2 years, 3 years, and have just cycled in and out of starting them up and then falling off. And for the first time, and probably forever, honestly, I really feel like I'm developing really beneficial habitual behavior that will compound and create exponential growth over time. And I'm really excited about the rewards I've already seen with those behaviors and the potential of what they could lead to. And then with negative habits, the only one I'm really aiming to, or tracking at least right now, is porn. So I have urges overcome, hours of porn consumed, escorts texted, escorts visited. This was another exceptional week in all these areas. It's been around 2 months since I've watched any porn, consumed anything that I count as pornographic, which is just anything on a screen that is arousing in any way. Haven't texted an escort, haven't visited an escort. Overcame 4 out of 4 urges. Again, this is huge. For years, I just was in and out of the cycle of anytime I actually managed to stop, it was more because of a lack of urges than it was me overcoming them. And then as soon as urges hit again, I would give in to them. And as soon as I would give into it once, I just kind of go off the deep end and give up because I felt like, what's the point? Like, I'm never going to figure this out. I'm a failure. And so the tool I've been using to overcome urges, which is kind of been crafted over a lot of different books and systems and efforts, has been working consistently. I think I'm like 50 something for 50 something over the last 2 months. It's 100% success rate at overcoming urges. And I think that is kind of while there are deeper rooted issues with addiction, related to like beliefs about yourself and thought patterns that need to be shifted, I think the main constraint that if you can block off this one area, addiction resolves itself over time, guaranteed, is just being able to overcome urges. Like when you feel that desire to engage in a behavior that you know is destructive and that you know you don't want to do, if you can sit with and let go of that desire 100% of the time, you will overcome your addiction, guaranteed. So that has been the main focus for me, and it's been working. Extremely excited about that. And yeah, overall, I mean, I really couldn't ask for a better week. There is no category that I really need to see improvement in based on this week, which every week I try to derive like what is an area of improvement, what is tangible action steps I can take to improve in this next week. And with this week, there really isn't one, which makes the improvement just repetition. I mean, in the past, my behavior in general is very cyclical, in that I would have these week to couple month periods of extreme effort where I would try to take on 10 positive habits and just live perfectly and just maximize my efficiency with growth. And it would work for a small period of time, and then I'd kind of fall off the deep end and just completely give up and go the other direction, where everything I'm engaging in is just purely destructive, and the only thing I am chasing is instant gratification. And that is just pointless. Like, pointless is, I mean, it's clearly destructive, but even minor versions of that are, in my life at least, I'll speak for myself, the last year has been less intense cycles. It's not been as much of I've been a lot more deliberate about reducing that perfectionism and that tendency to take on way too much immediately. And the bottoms I've reached have been a lot higher. So the cycle has been less extreme, but there's still just been this in and out of engaging in positive behaviors, reducing negative ones, and then kind of hitting a low in a cycle and giving up on the positive habits, not working as much, consuming more negative behaviors. And over the course of a year, I get to the end of the year and I look back and I'm like, literally zero progress was made, because any time I made any sort of momentum, it was erased, and then I would just hover at zero. So I'm trying to be very deliberate about repetition, and not taking on too much, and not trying to grow too quickly, and making it manageable. And so the main effort going into this next week is just repeating the success I've seen. I'm not going to, for any, in the next few weeks, I'm not going to add anything yet. I just want to continuously hit these goals that I set for myself right now, because they're becoming easier and easier to achieve. And once I have hit them enough weeks in a row, which for me, 3 months of success in the goals I set is when I can increase the difficulty and add in more habits, or like upgrade the habits, I guess. That it's just overall it's an effort to make slow, steady progress. So at the end of the year, I'll get there, and the whole entire year has been an upward trend. And the actual difference between who I am at the beginning of 2026 and who I was at the beginning of 2025 is very clear and positive. So yeah, it's just going to this next week, repetition, not trying to take on any more. Just what I'm doing is working. Continue the things that are working for now. So yeah, that was my week. That is where I'm at. And at the end of all these videos, I'm just going to throw out the business I'm working on right now is called Progress Theory. It is an online community, and one day will become an online program that is built around this idea of trying to create a universal system for progress that anyone can use to create growth in their life in whatever area that is for them. It is completely in its infancy. It is not fully created at all yet. There is the only thing it really is right now is me and a couple people sharing accountability and trying to identify areas of growth and how to achieve them. But if there's any interest in joining, the link will be below. The price reflects the fact that it is in its infancy, and anyone who joins at this point will get a significant discount for life because they took a shot on something that is in its alpha stage. Yeah, if that has any interest to you, hit the link below. You can schedule a call with me. If not, completely understand. Yeah, so that was my week. Post another video next week detailing my success and failure. To anyone watching, I appreciate you kind of watching this small channel with no sort of traction and giving me your attention. And I hope that you are able to find the growth you're looking for in your life and are on a upward trend. Until next time.